welcome. I am wanting to talk about this very long extended Mars retrograde that it came through Cancer, stopped in Leo, and has come back into Cancer, and will finally be turning direct on February 23rd. It's pretty much stationing at 17 degrees Cancer, so if you do have any placements, you would do well to look at which house in your chart that falls in. Notice any conflicts, inflammations, aggravations that might show up in that house, those subjects. I'm going to speak about it from a Cancer rising's perspective because I am a Cancer rising. So when Mars first came over my ascendant, which is actually early Cancer, I noticed some inflammation in my joints, in my hands, that started to become a problem. So it's the first house, my physical body. I was feeling inflammation, which is associated with Mars, the planet that represents fire, heat, cutting, severing, action. I try to have a good relationship with Mars, but I can very much see how when, things in my life are inflammatory, usually somehow Mars is involved. I've also been wanting to do more of these podcasts and have all these ideas for my work and things like that. And everything has kind of felt like it's been, I've been sludging through thick water, or refining some of these details to look ahead at a future where I might be able to move forward with some of these things. So you might be seeing some of that like in your work life, in your family life, just maybe some challenges that need to be worked out. So Mars turning direct on the 23rd, it will still be moving very slowly, but hopefully we will start to see some of that momentum with all this work we've been doing. I have noticed a lot of women in my life, acquaintances, friends, just even online, breast cancer has come up a lot. So cancer being, something, inflammation of the cells, something that's threatening in our most, womanly part. Just that subject reoccurring and bringing my attention back to, oh yeah, I need to take care of my body as a woman and make those appointments and get my butt in for those physicals. And instead of always, just trying to keep up with the daily grind, just make myself a priority. So that's been coming up a lot for myself. I have been seeing other Cancer rising friends of mine deal with just lots of sickness, just recurring. If it's not one sickness, it's another, and just maddening. It's so hard for obviously anyone to deal with an illness. It just pumps the brakes on your life. It's very hard when you're trying to take care of your children, have a career. Those are just some challenges I've definitely been noticing. Actually, one of my daughters is a Cancer rising. She, as Mars has gone over her ascendant, I've noticed, conflicts at school, inner conflicts. She's got a lot on her plate as a little pumpkin. So yeah, it's not the funnest retrograde, I'm going to go ahead and say. I'm looking forward to that martial momentum going back forward and us just being able to get back to work and making progress. I do want to say that when it comes to Mars retrograde in Cancer and how Cancer is associated with women, the womb, coming into our body, original existence, this includes men and women. I am a firm believer in an individual having both masculine and feminine sides of themselves. We are all in touch with different aspects of, the balance of that is different for everyone, and different phases of life. You might be more in a receptive yin, feminine kind of phase or season, and then go into more of a masculine yang phase or season, where it's more about the output influencing others than taking in influence, being more in touch with your body, or being more in your head. We all have these dynamic balances. So I'm not leaving men out. Even when I speak of breast cancer, I know that men can get breast cancer. From my perspective, of course, I speak to more women about these, self-care, health issues. That's just because of who I speak to more often about these things. But I know men, forget about themselves, take care of others, ignore their body. So I think we all would do well to just remember our health. If you are a Cancer rising and Mars has been making its way through your first house, the house of your body, of yourself, of how you present to the world, you might be very tangibly feeling these challenges right now. And I also want to bring up an important point about astrology in general. The way that I practice astrology, I see it symbolically kind of as a clock. Something happens in our life, we go to the chart, and we can see that reflection in the chart. I don't see it as Mars is doing something mean to me, even though I might make jokes about that. I don't feel like Mars is, some mean God up there punishing me or just trying to make me feel bad for anything. It's just fascinating to see this hard aspect in the sky and it reflected down here on Earth. A very clear example was on Inauguration Day, the sun conjuncting Pluto, the god of the underworld, with the sun, kind of like the king, just on display. Everyone's going to see that in different ways and take that in different ways, but it was very clear, to me, that symbolism. So yeah, if you want to learn more about your chart, please contact me or any astrologer. You can also go online and find free chart calculations. So once Mars starts going direct, it's not very long until Venus pumps her brakes and decides to go retrograde. Of course, she's not actually going backwards. The planets don't go backwards. From our perspective on Earth, it appears that they are. But Venus retrograde will have to do with relationships, sisters, women, values, pleasures in life. So when Venus goes retrograde, she is going through her visit to the underworld. She will be going retrograde in Aries, ruled by Mars. So it'll be interesting seeing how this Venus retrograde plays out. I'm also looking forward to Jupiter turning direct. Jupiter will be direct on, I wrote this down, just a moment. Knew I would forget the date. Coming up here very soon on February 4th. So very soon we will start to feel that forward momentum again. Maybe we've been restructuring mentally, thinking about, depending again where this falls in your chart, where Gemini falls. Jupiter's been spending this whole year in Gemini. So Jupiter can have to do with, I think of the omnipotent overlord kind of, a utopian ideal, order of things, so that when the government functions in a helpful way, healthcare, taking care of the roads, equality for all the members of society, high ideals, those type of things, that safety net when you fall. That's kind of how I think of Jupiter. Uncle Jupe, some people call Jupiter, which I think is kind of cute. But anyway, that forward motion starting on February 4th, coming up pretty soon. Looking forward to that. That's been in my 12th house. So I have noticed a calming down of some of the frenetic energy I get with Jupiter in the realm of Mercury. Just ideas bouncing off the walls everywhere. I'm all over the place. So the slowdown, I haven't minded too much. Moving back forward, Jupiter's going to be going into Cancer, which of course is my rising sign. So I am looking forward to that. So Uranus turned direct on the 30th. And I feel like that's when I kind of plugged back into, okay, I can start to get back on here and make some content. I can start planning these things. It just didn't even seem possible until Uranus turned back direct. So actually Uranus is in my 11th house, which is kind of the social realm, friends, groups of friends, that kind of, even hopes and dreams. What do I want to make? What is my outward projection in that realm? So just kind of taking risks there. Didn't even seem possible recently. So let me know if you have any questions about those things or your experiences with Mars taking so much time in this part of the chart. I'd love to hear them. And thanks so much. And I'll see you next time.